Now I know for good, better, and different, the promotions that they're gonna come with the whole like, well, yeah, Tank doesn't have the belts, but he's the guy calling the shots. He's the draw. So
Yes.
because he's the draw, by way of being the draw, he's the best fighter in the division. Now we know as boxing fans that this isn't true. It's BS. It's the rhetoric that promoters use. But what do you see him in all this, Gervonta Davis? Like,
Well, Tank is box office. Tank is one of the few fighters that I will personally travel to go watch fight.
fun to watch in person.
Tank reminds me of Mike Tyson. He really does remind me of Mike Tyson, despite the adversity that he's faced in the last few fights. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
I know what he's capable of doing. I know how explosive he is. I know he hits very hard. And as an added bonus to a person like me, who's a single man, Tank Davis attracts a lot of women
The ladies,
to his fights. Thank you. And I appreciate that, Tank. I very much enjoy attending your fights. So whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in Baltimore, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Las Vegas, whether it's in California, I will be at Tank's fight. Now, that's the box office, that's the explosiveness, that's the talent, all that. And he has skill too, by the way, very underrated skills. I have Tank, by the way, in the top 10 pound for pound because of those boxing skills that he has that are underappreciated. Now, with that being said, does he duck fights? Did you ask me that question?
Well, no, I didn't. But does he duck fights?
Yes. Yes, he ducks fights. So, perfect example. Tank Davis, we don't know exactly what he makes. We hear that, he gets back in money. We hear all these other things. But if he's fighting Cruz for a couple of $1 million, if he's fighting Rolly for a few $1 million, whatever he's getting on those fights, he can get more fighting Ryan Garcia. That's the bottom line. So, we can discuss what would potentially happen in that fight, in that matchup, but we can't debate which matchup brings more money to Tank. So, again, I'm not a hypocrite. If Tank is choosing to fight somebody for less pay, he's ducking the one who brings more pay. It's simple as that. Nothing against Tank. I like Tank as a person.
Yeah.
I've had several conversations with him. He probably doesn't remember me because he's got a lot going on in his life. I've watched him spar. I've enjoyed watching him spar. He puts on a show, that I feel like, damn, how much were the tickets for this?
Was that good?
Yes, he's entertaining, and I wish that he would have these fights. But again, that's from the side of entertainment. You know what I mean? I'm not going to knock Mayweather Promotions for protecting him, guiding him, doing whatever it is, building him up. That's their choice to do that. But do I want him to fight Shakur? Of course, I want to see Tank versus Shakur. I want to see Tank versus Haney. I want to see Tank versus Loma. And I definitely want to see Tank versus Ryan sooner than later. So I would love to see all those fights. But whomever he's fighting, I'm going to his fight. So, and the fact that Mayweather Promotions knows that he has that type of fan base, that's willing to travel, that's willing to spend their hard-earned money. And we're not talking about cheap tickets, that the inexpensive tickets of next month that we're going to see as far as Sebastian. Tank's tickets are not cheap.
No, this is an occasional.
So he's not some kind of made-up box office star. He is legitimate box office. I want everybody to understand that. It's legitimate box office. So, but Ryan is moving in that direction to be just as box office He's not there yet, but he's moving in that direction.
And they need each other. I would
Yes.
say they need each other.
So that's what I want to see. But I don't think ducking is as bad of a term as people think it is. People think I'm attacking or demeaning someone when I say they're ducking a fight, and I don't look at it like that, So I'm not a professional boxer, so I can't use myself as an example, but I can tell you that I've ducked opportunities outside of the sport of boxing.
Yeah, in business, right?
Yes.
I think everybody's ducked something.
Yes.
If you haven't ducked something in life, you haven't lived life,
Yes.
quite frankly.
Got to be discerning.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to a couple comments before we